I mean, Tesla really faced a severe threat of death due to the Model 3 production ramp. Essentially, the company was bleeding money like crazy, and just if we didn't solve these problems in a very short period of time, we would die. And it was extremely difficult to solve them.
How close to death did you come?
Within single-digit weeks.
Joining us right now is Mike Allen, Axios' co-founder and executive editor. Happy Thanksgiving, Mike.
Well, thank you to you, too.
Great interview and a great final episode of, I know your 4 episodes on HBO. The question about the interview, and it was a fascinating one, with Elon Musk last night. After you asked that question, and he said effectively we were just, effectively weeks, single-digit weeks away from failing, what I want to know was, did he say more? Was there more about what had happened? Because during that same period, I think he was very positive, at least on Twitter and other places, to the markets about what was happening.
No, you're right. And he's making clear that what we suspected behind the scenes was happening, that as they tried to ramp up the production of the Model 3, the mass market version, that it was as difficult as it looked. And we asked him at the end, we said it was almost a throwaway question. I said, what do you do that no one should do? And he said, no one should work this hard. He said that he is almost constantly in the factory, is the chief engineer, is the chief designer, underscoring what's worried the market at times, and that is how much this is a one-man operation. And such an amazing brain, the co-founder of 7 companies, currently the CEO of 4 companies. And if that isn't enough, he, now in his late 40s, he predicts a 70% chance that he personally will go to Mars.
Real quick on the Mars comment, he's been talking about Mars for quite some time. There was one distinction I noticed in the interview. He's often talked about Mars being this sort of escape hatch for the world that effectively wants everybody to be able to escape to Mars. You guys made the comment that it might just be an escape hatch for wealthy people. He said it wasn't just really wealthy people that were going to get there, but you had to be brave and courageous, because he said the chances of it actually working were not as high as I thought he would say.
No, and he said the chance of death is high. He says that he is still eager to do it, but he knows that he could die on Mars. He says, even if you get there, then you're going to be working hard. You're going to have to build a civilization. He says that doesn't sound like much of an escape hatch for the rich.
Okay, I got 2 other things because I want to talk politics.
Before we leave Musk real quickly, Mike, just on this idea of being weeks away, single-digit weeks away from death, did he describe how or what happened? Or, I mean, what was we all knew that there was a problem there, but the idea that he realized he was just weeks away from death, what would have happened? What could have happened?
Yeah, and Axios' Felix Salmon took a look at it, and he said what he really means is he was weeks away from needing a new capital injection. So this is partly financial, but it's also personal, partly personal. I asked him about the toll on him, and he said, this hurts my brain, this hurts my heart. And so we've seen...
Did he talk about the tweets, by the way? Did he talk about the settlement?
He didn't say anything new about the settlement, but he did talk about how he likes to tweet, and something he has in common with President Trump. He doesn't plan to back off it. He also, interestingly enough, just in the last week or so with Kara Swisher, endorsed President Trump's Space Force.
So let's just talk politics for a second. I want to talk about Saudi, what you think is going to happen in the next week or 2 there. Clearly, there are now members of the Senate and Congress that are saying that they want to put some kind of sanctions together. Obviously, President Trump has backed MBS. What do you think is really going to happen?
Yeah, Andrew, this is a surprise. So the White House thought this was going to kind of fade away, and so many things do right now, but this is clearly not. You have that astonishing comment yesterday by Representative Adam Schiff, Democrat of California, incoming chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, saying yesterday that he can't say what he's gotten in his intel briefings about the Saudis, but he said what he will say is he does not think the president is telling the truth. The clear implication is the intel briefings that he's getting is that the CIA does have the confidence that this was ordered by the Crown Prince. That has
But
been
the CIA
widely
is not allowed
reported.
to. The CIA is not allowed to tell Congress this.
Well, so it sounds like they did tell Congress this in a confidential setting. Adam Schiff there giving us one of the bigger hints you'll ever get out of an intel briefing. And here's the new part, and here's the surprising part. Yesterday, in a phone interview with Jonathan Swan, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, of course, one of the president's closest allies, said he is going to push for a wider briefing for members of the Senate, for members of Congress this week. And he said, if it turns out to be true that the media reporting is accurate, that the CIA has high confidence that this was ordered by the Crown Prince, he said he's going to push for sanctions on Saudi Arabia. And he said, we can't do business with someone who's that crazy.
And what do you think the prospect is that that moves ahead? Because there are a lot of businesses, obviously, in the United States that do business with Saudi, and that'll have huge implications for the future of Saudi and obviously on oil and everything else.
No, absolutely. The chances of a intel briefing for Congress are high. The fact that Republicans, House and Senate, for pushing for this is the surprising part. So the President Trump has a lot of work to do, either to recalibrate what he's saying publicly or to convince the House and Senate not to believe their lying eyes.